Niggas would not
man.
stop calling me, and I would the phone kept waking me up, and I was like, "This is some bullshit."
That's what happens when you popular. Hey, what's going on, man? We all up in here. We on. Yeah, what's good, man? What's another episode of Chopping Over Q podcast? V over here talking about how she just got it like that in the game, man. You know, I'm retired, so I don't know how it is anymore.
I don't have anything like anything. First of all, let's not do this. Okay, is it just me? I'll just say, is it just me, or does it seem like anytime that you want to be left alone or not bothered, that's when people want to call you? Like when you want to be called and social and talk to people, your phone doesn't ring. But the minute you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna put the phone down, go to sleep early, or I'm gonna really try to sit and read a book or something like that, that's when everybody wants to text and call you.
Basically, yeah. But you know how it goes, man. They only want to be bothered with you when they want to be bothered with you.
Well, I don't want to be bothered with nobody ever, so then.
That happens all the time. You know, you ignore me all the time. It's all good, though. You know.
I don't ignore you. Okay. Nobody's ignoring this man.
See, I be trying to call just to be a friend. Be like, yo, what's good, sis? How you doing? Oh, I'm good. And it's like, what you want? Yeah, I'm going to call you back. It's like, goddamn, okay.
Okay, but normally when you call, what am I doing? I'm normally at Walmart. I spend more time at Walmart at HEB than any one human should. I don't know what it is. I don't know why, because I hate going there, but it seems like I'm always there. And so you always call, and I have to be like, I'm at Walmart, I'll call you back. I'm in the grocery store, I'll call you back. I'm running, I'll call you. You always call when I'm in a store. I don't know why that is.
So you're blaming me for is that what we're doing? Are we? I can't even come up with a term for that. Are you telling me I just have poor timing? Are you shaming me on this?
Poor timing shaming. Time shaming.
Hey, man, look, I ain't gonna lie. While you playing, so this is how I know I'm actually becoming more of an adult as time goes on. And so I walked into Walmart, and you know how every time you walk into Walmart, you're always going for one thing, and you always end with 30 other things. So one time I walked in there, and they had jeans on sale for little kids, and they were $1 a piece. So I was like, you know what? They do need play clothes. So yeah, let me go ahead and grab a couple of these while they $1. Because I was like, this is crazy.
Yes, I too like some dollar jeans. So yeah, I wasn't mad about it.
Yeah, you're right. It's so funny because when you go in these places now, as an adult, you're always looking for deals. You're like, you know what? I do need paper towels. Let me go ahead and grab a couple of these since they 2 for $5 right now. Knowing you don't need it.
That is, and I think that's really the highlight of that's when you reach peak pinnacle washed adulting. When you go in a store and you do come out spending money, but it's because, and you go home and you're like, I got 16 rolls of paper towel for $6. Ah! And you do the Oprah scream because you're excited. I saved $50 on vacuum cleaner bags. Yeah.
Man, I don't think it's worse than those people, the extreme couponists. I keep saying I want to try it one day, but that requires a lot of dedication.
Well, see, I'd be afraid to, because remember they had the coupon guy in Dollar General where he called the police on that girl for using the coupons.
Yeah, he gonna say this deal is too good enough for you Negroes. So you obviously had to fake, which this is weird because if it's scanned, it's legit, but it's whatever.
If it scans, how is it fake?
I mean, I don't know. That's my question. It's see, that goes with a person who, you're a store manager. Okay, cool, dog. Don't take your job too serious like that, man. I used to hate that when I worked in retail and you had those people who just swear up and down that this is their personal stuff. So they treat it like it's their house. I'm sure you worked with people like that before.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just very interesting for them to behave that way. So I kind of have a story that's kind of like that, but not really. But I'll tell you, because it's about somebody taking something that got brought to work very seriously. Oh. So there's this lady at my job whose name is, I'm not gonna put it on the last like that just in case she ever listens. Okay, I'm not gonna do it like that. But there's this lady at my job. There's this older white lady at my job, and her birthday was yesterday. Was it yesterday, or the day before? Maybe the day before, because today's Thursday, so it was Tuesday. Birthday was Tuesday, so we celebrated. When we do birthdays at my job, they ask you what would you like, breakfast, lunch, as long as it's something reasonable. So normally we do breakfast tacos, depends on what you want. She wanted breakfast tacos. So we had breakfast tacos for her birthday, and our boss. Now, for context, right now she does a different job, but when she first started working for the company, she was she was the president's personal assistant. She left the job and took another job, and when she came back, the position was filled. But because she had been with the company for so long before that, they found a position for her and let her come back. A position became available, and they were able to kind of move some things around so that she could come back.
It sounds like she got a sneak promotion, but
she did not get a sneak promotion.
Oh, okay.
She did not. She did not get a sneak promotion. But so her and our boss kind of have a very close. Their relationship is different because she worked very closely with him for many years, and now she does not necessarily do that. So he had his family reunion, I guess, the weekend before. So maybe this was Monday, but either way. So he comes in and he has a watermelon under his arm, but it's half a watermelon. And I guess they had put, like they had cut it in half and, made it, cut the edges to be cute and filled it with fruit.
Okay.
Used like a watermelon bowl, basically. So it had chunks of watermelon, cantaloupe, whatever. So he has it under his arm and he brings it in. And so he sits it in the break room and he brought it for the lady for her birthday. So it sits there and I'm wondering, how come nobody is eating this? Well, it turns out that I guess at his reunion, they had left it out or didn't refrigerate it properly. Cause I had like one piece of the watermelon and it smelled. And like when I got it close to my mouth, I was like, oh my God, this smells horrible. So it had started to like rot, like it spoiled or something. And so, nobody would eat it. So it sat out on the table and then somebody put it in the refrigerator. And so when it was put in the refrigerator, the cleaning lady who cleans out the refrigerator looked in there and she was like, well, they were talking about it not being good and smelling. So she threw it away.
Yeah, makes sense.
Do you? So the lady that it was her birthday, she was so excited. She puts all on Facebook, look what my boss got me for my birthday and takes a picture of the watermelon. She's excited about this half a fucking watermelon.
Okay.
So the cleaning lady throws the watermelon away. So when she finds out the cleaning lady throws the watermelon away, she corners her in the break room, like barricades the door, will not let this woman out to do her job. And is like, why would you throw that away? That's mine. He gave it to me. Nobody gave you permission to touch it. And she was like, it was spoiled. It doesn't matter if it was spoiled. It was mine and you shouldn't have thrown it away. Nobody gave you permission to. She was upset about her throwing this watermelon away.
Heather, if you don't get out of my face and stop playing with me.
Watermelon. Okay, exactly. And so when the cleaning lady was telling the story to me this morning over coffee, she was like, I didn't want to be mean to her, so I just let her get it out of her system, but she wouldn't let me past her. And I finally just got irritated and turned around and walked the other way, took the other door out the break room and walked a long way around to get away from her. And I just went and I just sipped my coffee and I said, your walk with the Lord is far closer and better than mine, because the Lord has not worked on me to that level yet, girl. Because I would have just told her, you need to move before I move you. Like, I'm tired of talking, and I'm gonna go through this door right here, right now. And what you're gonna do is move before we have a real problem. The kind that we need HR for, sweetie. Yeah. So you gonna have to step to the side.
See, that'd be my issue. I'd be like, oh, we doing this? Go lock the other door. What's up? What you want?
All right, honestly, I'm petty, and I would have just dropped my coffee on her foot so that bitch would have moved.
Hey, to get a hot foot, huh? I feel that.
I'd oops, and just drop my coffee all over her person and then walk out.
I'm getting so clumsy.
Butterfingers. Oh my God. So sorry. Yeah, because she did too much. So yeah, that just made me think of that. Every time people take things way too seriously. I just have never seen anybody get that worked up over like spoiled fruit.
No, I'd have been like, I would have threw it away. Be like, oh, it's spoiled. Yeah, toss that, man. I appreciate it, but it ain't that serious. Like, some folks just need to chill. Like,
she was wilding. And then on top of after she did all of that to that woman, do you know the cleaning lady brought her a watermelon? Like, she went to the store, found her a seedless watermelon, and brought it to her, and then put an apology note on it and said that she was sorry that she upset her.
Oh, she nice.
She's a strong Christian church going lady, and I don't know what church she go to and how her and Jesus talk, because me and Jesus ain't had a talk that would ever make me do that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what kind of talks her and God have, but I don't have them.
Yeah, she got to send me that number because I think I've been missing those calls because I'm not about to go out and spend my money because you out here tripping. I'm sorry. Knowing me, I would have brought a watermelon and just ate it in front of her. Like, yo, this shit is the bomb. And dare her
This
to
is
say
so
something.
good. It's not spoiled or nothing. This is good. It don't stink. It's ripe. It's delicious. This is what a watermelon should be. Would you like some? Would you like a piece of this?
See, but that's the reason why I'm kind of happy where I work because, you know, a lot of the engineers aren't that personable, so I don't have to worry about having these discussions with them. So we're good. That's all I can say because
I just work with a bunch of old petty bitches. Menopause is killing them. It's got to be.
It's got going on. But
there's something in the water.
You know they got that newfound courage because they got their man Don T in office. So you know how it goes.
Yeah, I had to block the lady on Facebook subsequently because she had also said something about loving President Trump and he was her favorite president. And I commented and said, you should know because you've been alive for all of them.
Oh man,
she came to work. She came to work very upset about it, and so she cried. And so then I said, "Don't worry about it. I'll delete it." So I just deleted it and blocked her.
Why? Why? Why you got to go through with it? If you're gonna do a troll moment, you just gotta at least go through with it.
Well, she's an old white bitch crying at work. Like, who wants to be a part of that?
I mean, maybe they would ignore her ass. Be like, oh. Well,
then she was gonna say I was cyberbullying her, and I already have enough problems with those people without them calling me a cyberbully on top of everything else. So I unfriended her and blocked her and went about my day. So it's fine. It's all resolved. So we're gonna get back on Trump and what he got going on.
Oh,
let that rest.
You know, it's so funny because I always tell people I work in basically Red County, and there's quite a few people who love that man there. You know what? It's such a biggest. So people who are like 35 and under are more, I guess you could say, liberal and not really on that full bandwagon. And most people over that who aren't women are rocking with Don T. And I think they actually said people broke out to a fist fight over that whole election stuff. Like it's so bad that they don't show CNN over there or any Fox News or anything like that.
Well, we watch Fox News at my job. That's all we're allowed to watch is Fox News. So that's why when I go in the break room, I just bring my phone and put on headphones and don't listen or look at the TV because I'm not gonna watch Fox News.
Catch up on your favorite podcast. I feel that.
Exactly. That is exactly what I do because I just don't have the fortitude or strength to listen to that bullshit.
You know, you're a lot stronger than I am though, because I don't know if I would last in a place like that. No, it wouldn't happen. I would say that.
They're special. But so y'all's president got on the internet, on Twitter, his favorite medium in which to talk to the people. And he had some interesting words to say about a segment that Don Lemon did with LeBron James regarding his opening of his I Promise school. Mm-hmm. So, peace to him. Shouts out to LeBron because the school is pretty dope. He opened it in his hometown of Akron, Ohio. The school basically is a public school, which is another bone of contention that many people had because they're haters. And they were like, what? Taxpayers
how much that going to cost us?
Taxpayers have to fund his school. He's only paying for 20% of it because if he pays for any more than 20%, it makes it a private school. And it's not accessible to the children who he has created the school for. Y'all are fucking dumb. You cannot use Google. You don't read. Because if you read, you would know that. He put as much funding as he could into the school without making it become a private school.
Yes. But you can't tell people that because people only think, oh, we got, because I see a lot of headlines. They be like, oh, they're going to have to pay X amount of dollars. And it's like, a lot of those articles are like really trying to fool people and they just trick them with a large number, but they don't really break it down on how it works, which that's a whole nother discussion. It's
clickbait. It's absolute clickbait and it's ridiculous. This man is trying to do something good for his community, and like him, love him, hate him, whatever you have to say about that man, you cannot deny the fact that he tries very hard to give back to the community that raised him and made him and tries to be a positive influence and a mentor for the kids that he sees a bit of himself in.
Yeah. Didn't he also have something where he's setting up money to the side for people who want to go to Akron, I think, Akron University or something like that?
Yeah, if they go to that college, then I think all the children that are at the school have guaranteed tuition. Yeah. They've set up with the school to go to college there if they go to school there, which I think is wonderful, because I think for a lot of those children, college may be out of reach, and it may not even be a grade, it may be a grade thing, it may be a money thing, because there are a lot of people that had fairly decent grades but didn't get scholarships, or, you may be able to get grants, but who wants to be 30, 40, 50, $60,000 in debt?
And that's the thing, is like, grants don't pay for everything, so most of the time you have to take out loans.
You do, and that's what happened. I mean, and that's one of the things that they don't talk about for a lot of students that are very bright, who do well and excel academically in college, because they don't have money. They have to, work extended hours, work study for a lot of schools. I mean, it is great, but, there's not enough work study for everybody. So then, they don't pay you a whole bunch. So then if you're doing work study, you're trying to keep everything afloat. You're trying to make sure that you're eating and stuff. It's just hard. And people are like, I struggled and I worked 2 jobs and that's fine. If you were able to do it, but that's not for everybody. Not everybody can do that. And for the vast majority of people, they're going to tell you that it was a struggle. See, they struggled hard.
Yeah. Even a lot of those people.
Broke.
A lot of those people, yeah, exactly. They eating sugar sandwiches and stuff every night. And like, look, if you ain't got to do it, dog, don't do it.
Exactly. And so it's just one of those things where if you have to, in order for you to have basic living necessities past, books and a place to live, it's just a lot. So, I mean, I think that it's a really good thing that he's doing, because I think for a lot of these kids, maybe college would not necessarily be within their reach. I also heard that they have a food pantry on site where parents can come and pick out healthy meal options and food to take home to cook. They also get, breakfast and lunch and snacks, as well as them having GED classes and job placement services for parents.
Well, dang, man, I need to move up. Well, I ain't going to Akron. I ain't gonna lie.
I was gonna say, your ass not going to fucking Akron.
I wish they had something like that, because we actually tried to see if I can get free lunch for my girls, and that was a negative. But you
knew damn motherfucker.
I was trying. I told him, man, look, I'm the working poor, man. Don't worry about the numbers. Just know I'm struggling. Struggling with a K.
Struggle. Just know it's a struggle.
Yeah.
No, we struggling.
Yeah, struggling with a K. That's how I'm living out here.
I'm struggling so hard.
But they weren't trying to hear that. But hey, I tried to campaign for it.
They were not. They were like, okay, sir, thank you. Your time is up. Just can you get out of line? Thanks.
Yeah, they do hit you with that. Are you done? Okay. But no, I just look at it like anybody who, and if you rock with Dante on this, okay, I'm still wondering why, but you know what? That's your decision. But you mean to tell me that a president of the quote-unquote free world, with all other things going on in the world, Flint still needing fresh water, student loan crisis, all these other different things going on, you got time to just take the time out of your day to address Don Lemon and LeBron James on Twitter.
And said that LeBron made Don Lemon look smart, which was hard to do.
Yeah. Well, no, he said, isn't easy to do. And I was like, what? Okay.
Which is very interesting, because here's the thing. Up until very recently, Don Lemon has been all about respectability politics and this whole Uncle Tom type of persona. Mm-hmm. And something snapped with that man that New Year's that he did. He was drunk on that live segment.
Oh, when he kissed this dude on it, he was like, oh yeah, he.
And after that, it was on and popping, baby. We got a whole new Don Lemon. And granted, I don't think this necessarily happened overnight. I think he is gradually turning into this person, but I think he finally, a light went off and he finally realized that these white people don't care about me in the way that I think they care about me. I am a pawn, and when they are done using me, they will discard me, and it'll be like I was never here.
Yeah, Don Lemon left, and now he's just Don Lemon.
Don Lemon, exactly. And so Don Lemon sat his smart ass down with LeBron James, talk about something positive and ways that we can improve and keep doing positive things in these communities. And Donald Trump had to shit all over it. And I agree with you. For somebody that starts their work day at 10 o'clock and ends it at 6 o'clock, but you're supposed to be leading the free world, you have a lot of fucking free time on your hand to free base goddamn McDonald's fries and Diet Cokes and not do shit between. Like, it's very concerning. Like, you free, like, I'm confused. You only work from 11 to 10 to 6 every day, and you out here free basing fucking fish fillets and tweeting us to death. Like, why are you not doing any work?
Yeah, he love his Big Mac and Coke diet, man. It's just so crazy because he does this all the time. There's plenty of times he get on and just say some bull, and it's funny because I remember Eric was up here a couple weekends ago.
Shout out to Eric.
Yeah. And he came out and he was like, his phone starts, he's like, oh, Donald Trump's tweeting again. And it was like 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, why is this man still awake? And he a geriatric man. What you doing up?
He's 70 years old. Why ain't you talking to your wife or playing with your kids or something? Well, he only play with one of them. The rest of them old, but he can't play, so he can't really play with the rest of the kids. Man, the whole point, do something. At 10 o'clock at night, if you're not doing no official, like, White House business, why can't you turn this shit off and go on about your business?
I don't know.
You and Sarah Scammer Huckabee can, come up with y'all lies in the morning. Y'all don't got to talk about them at 10. Y'all can start later.
I thought she was supposed to be quitting. What happened? She been quitting for like the last 2 months.
She got like a month left before she resigns. So, but it's coming, and that's good because that bitch 30, she's my age, and she looks like she's 45. And really? Granted, I don't. Yeah, and I don't want to. And here's the thing: I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't, shame her about her looks or whatever, because really it does not matter what she looks like. But my whole point is that telling all them lies has to be very damaging to your psyche, and it ages you. When you don't sleep enough because you have to sit with yourself and the lies that that you're telling people, you do not look well. And that's not calling you ugly. It just means that you start to see it. Just like the being the president, they all come out gray as shit and they look older. And as soon as they're done being president, they start to get some youth back in them. It's not to say they were ever unattractive or ugly, which, I don't really do white men, so call it what you want. But the point is there something about that type of high pressure work sucks your soul out. And if you got to do high pressure work and lie while you edit, I imagine that it is very soul sucking.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But I guess we can't call anybody ugly. Fine. It's just funny to point it out though. But that's
hot ass mess. Speaking of other people that we hope age badly, which I don't even know what my thought was, but
you said, speaking of, oh shit.
Yeah, people that are aging badly. Yeah, so I hope Dak Prescott ages with the veracity of old lettuce at this point. Your man got very hot in the ass and decided he was going to tell the world that he thought that there was a time and place for protest, and he didn't feel like football was the place because football is his getaway, his respite from the world, and he doesn't want that sullied with protest.
So that's exactly what I would tell him. Like, sir, that's cool and all, but you don't get to pick and choose when people decide to go ahead and make their demonstrations. It's not how the world works. Did he also he kind of backtracked a little bit? Like, I'm not saying people shouldn't protest. I'm just saying that it shouldn't be here or something.
Right. His whole
like that.
Yeah, his point was just that when your protest shouldn't be during the anthem during the football game. You should protest some other time when it's convenient for him and doesn't interrupt his football game and his anthem. Then of course Jerry Jones went on record like I'm proud of him. Yeah, I'm sure you are proud of him.
Don T is proud of. Don T. Ooh, the Jerry Jones. Let's go ahead and put it out there. Of course he's proud of his $40 million. No, I can't say that. But yeah, of course he's proud of his player. I'm gonna be polite.
All right.
The leader of his team. He's showing his leadership skills right now by standing for something. Oh man.
Being a slave owner in 2018 is just hard, isn't it?
Hey man, it's rough, man. You got, because sometimes they just get out of control and get all uppity and stuff, and they forget who pay their bills. You know.
Really, he should just cut his foot off.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just dock his pay.
There you go. Well, the people in Dallas were kind of pissed off about it, so they put up a mural that has Dak Prescott featured, and that iconic scene from the Jordan Peele movie Get Out, where the gentleman is sitting on the couch and he has the tears running down his face in that horrific look of being completely scared. They have Dak Prescott in mural form with that same exact face, and I think it fits perfectly. You in the sunken place, bro. Get well soon. We hope you get out of there. That's your white side of your family coming out.
It's something. That's that light skin part, you know.
And I hope you.
No, I was gonna say, you know, some light skin dudes, something. You know, come on, man. They've been saying y'all a little soft for the longest. Don't let Dak put y'all back a couple years, man. Y'all. Which I mean, we got Colin, so I guess that kind of counteracts that.
Jesus Christ, I don't know. But I just wanted to point that out. I think a lot of people were just kind of on the side of that's some old bullshit. You could have kept your mouth closed. But I will say, shouts out to Aaron Rodgers. That's not my quarterback, but kudos to him because he definitely came out and said, hey guys, so the protests were definitely not about protesting the anthem. Just thought you should know.
Hey man, how many times has it been said?
He had to go ahead and let him know. He was like, hey guys, that's not what that's about. They're not protesting the anthem. So if that's what you think this is about, then something is wrong with you. So I'm glad he came out and said that. You're not my quarterback, but you could be my quarterback if my quarterback wasn't my quarterback. So good, you know, high five you.
Yeah, if he played for your team, then you'd be all right. I forgot, y'all got Mitch Trubisky. I'm sorry for Chicago. But
listen, you ain't got to talk about all that. We're not here to talk about that. We're not here to talk about that. We out here all living our best lives. We're going to let that alone right now. Season about to start. You're not gonna put me in a bad mood. I'm going to this season with high hopes and big dreams, and you're not gonna take that from me. Thank you. We're not gonna speak on that today.
All right, first Chicago game. I'm like, V, you want to go ahead and come by? Yeah, we order pizza and all that, but you gotta stay for the whole game. Don't be like everybody else. Be like, hey, I'm about to go ahead and leave. It's third quarter and we down. Nah, finish it.
This why I don't go to his house. Do you see? He petty. This why you can't go to his house. This nigga petty.
Everybody knows that. Like, look, if you come, you just got to come with it. You already know jokes gonna fly. But
that's just a rule of thumb. Don't go to petty people's house. They'll never act right.
I do sometimes. It just depends.
Okay, the end.
But no, I mean, it's just funny because everybody always spins their own narrative on. They've been doing that the whole time it started. The man came out. And I don't know why we keep repeating this. The man came out on numerous occasions and told you what it was for. But as soon as he said it, then people just said, oh, he's doing it. He's protesting the anthem. And it's like, that's not what he said. That's not what he said. Many players have said it. Many people have come out and said it. Hell, he got the whole idea from a military man. But you know what? That's facts. And I forgot that don't belong in these conversations. So we'll just leave it at that.
Anybody who's still confused about what it's for and what it's about just is living with their head under a rock and they don't want to know and they just want to be loud and wrong. So we're going to let them be loud and wrong because we just don't have time to spend on idiots because you don't argue with stupid people because when you do, they bring you down to their level and they beat you with experience. I don't have any experience of being a dumbass, so I'm not going to play with them.
Man, look. And it's so bad because I wanted this to be resolved because even though I watched more college football this past year, I mean, I enjoy the sport, but it's something in me that was like, you know what? I don't even know if I want to deal with it. I'm not even playing fantasy football this year because I'm probably not going to watch half the game, so I'm not even going to know how to manage all of it. So,
yeah, I'm not in the fantasy league either now that you say that.
Yeah, man. So next year, maybe we'll see. Maybe it gets better.
So, I heard you want to talk to me about scammers.
Man, let me tell you. So,
yeah, people, speaking of people, not really having it all together and kind of being dumb, you want to talk to me about some scammers, so I want to hear about them.
First of all, I think 2018 is the year of the scammer because how many people have been coming out hustling the game?
Iconic scams. Listen. It is a full-time job to block those girls with the IG wig and hair pages selling the bundles and the wigs.
Man.
It's a full-time job to block them. You got to be on it all day, every day, 367. You need more days in the year than there are to block all of them.
Look.
It's like Hydra.
Look, I'm telling you, man, because it's like, I don't know how many I done reported. Hey, man, this is spam. Hey, this is spam. I swore I done got like a few of them blocked, but yeah, they keep coming back. It's kind of like those people always calling you, asking you about your insurance or your student loans or what's the other thing they always call you for? Oh, hearing aids. It's like, I don't need hearing aids yet. What are you talking about? It's like,
Jesus.
oh man, but they are now migrating back to the kicks, and the reason I say back is we had this problem prior as well. But the feds busted a $70 million fake Jordan ring. So you got some cat who just knew he bought him some fly kicks off eBay, and he got those hangmans, not Jumpmans. So I don't know.
Hangman.
Alright, so basically there's 5 people are accused of importing almost 400,000 pairs of counterfeit Air Jordan shoes in a scheme that cost Nike more than $70 million. Wow.
$70 million in fake Jordans. That is insane. Which I will always say this. If it seems like it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah, so basically what they said, they got the shoes in, and then when they got to the States, they put the Jordan logo on it.
Listen, and in my mind, all I can think is like they have like a little Jordan sew on patches, like the applique patches, like it's not even like stitched, like it's one of it's like an iron on Jordan patch. They not ironing holes up to the shoes. Like, can you just imagine somebody like playing basketball or out somewhere and they little jump man come off their shoes?
Oh man, you bought some fresh J's because you finally get to take out that one that you always wanted, and as soon as you start walking in the spot, your jump man just rolls off of it, off the tongue. that's so cold, man. Oh man, but I was telling you earlier, like I remember they had that issue when we were. So this is when like the internet first kind of was like popular, I guess you could say. And they used to have like all these websites like what's it, Cool Kicks and Fresh like I think like Fresh Kicks. It was a bunch of different ones like that where you can go on and quote unquote make custom shoes. So you had like custom Air Force Ones, Jordans, and all that stuff. But they were fake as shit. Like, seriously. So you can go in and get like some fluorescent green Jordans. But they're not going to give you the real shoe. But you get the color and it looks like it. But it's kind of like having a knockoff Gucci, I guess.
Yeah, y'all gotta stop with subsequently. Y'all could just stop with the knockoff shit. Like that could be stopped too. Also, word of advice for the gals buying the wigs, because I'm not super into, I will buy the occasional wig. I'm not super into wigs like that. But for you gals buying the lace front wigs from people, if they don't have like an IG that links you to an actual page, like there's no website, it's just them talking about DM me and send me the money through Cash App. I just see a rash of you retweeting and quoting people's tweets about them selling wigs and the pictures of the wigs. It's a lot of you quoting the tweet saying you're a scammer, sis. You took me for $300. You took me for $500. I bought $1,000 worth of custom wigs and I don't get shit. Or you sent me this wig and it don't look like the picture. Just a lot of that going on.
What happens to just going to a place and buying? There's certain things I don't buy off the internet, but go ahead and finish. I
think it's one of those things where you don't necessarily like. These people are making custom wigs, and so if you're making a custom wig, then it may not be something that you've seen in the store. It may be a custom dye job, and that's not something you can do for yourself. So you're buying it over the internet. But my concern with that is, like I said, if a person only is using Cash App and they don't got no website or nothing, they just got a couple of pictures. I'm just like, why wouldn't y'all do a Google photo search and make sure them pictures not popping up on 12 other people's Twitter and they all selling the same wig?
You mean to tell me that
y'all ain't all making the same custom wig? So somebody here is lying.
So you mean to tell me that nobody have like an Aunt Shirley or a Sister Cheryl who can make them a custom? Because we all know there's some old person somewhere who know how to make a wig.
I think people have gotten to this age of the internet where they feel like everyone is trustworthy if they have a business. And if anything should have taught you, especially from the early days of eBay, the motherfuckers will tell you they're selling you a cell phone and send you a brick in a box.
Look,
so
I remember one time. Do you remember the displays? The little plastic displays they used to sell in like they used to have like in Sprint stores and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Homie thought he bought a phone. He bought a plastic display.
That happens too. And that's the thing. Like, people either don't read the description, or they are getting something that is not quality. But that is the thing. There are so many consumer protections in place and so many ways to spot people being fraudulent. And if somebody's telling you to cash app them for services, like custom services, why would you let them do it?
Look, I'm a firm believer. There's a point where you become too old to get hustled, or you should just know. You should just kind of know better. Like, if something seems weird and fishy, you gotta ask questions. And honestly, I think that's where you get a lot of scammers. I remember. So, you ever received that phone call where they told you won like a free subscription to whatever magazine or whatever that you want,
or a free trip, or a free cruise, or whatever? Yeah.
So I remember one time I was like, man, let me just mess with them. Okay, cool. Oh, really? What did I win exactly? Oh man, you won these free this free trip to this and this. Oh, word, that's what's up. How did I get entered? Oh, you just picked your name by random. Oh, how'd you get my number?
From where? Why? How?
Yeah. I asked him all that. He just hung up after a while. But after a while, they're gonna say, "Look, are you gonna give me your information or no?" Nah, not really. But man, because I mean, they had that. They had people thinking that Tyler Perry was giving away free money. They had the lady who thought she was married to Tyler Perry. It's a lot.
And y'all are, but I think a lot of it too is there's a certain demographic of people. We shouldn't say certain, but I think there are outliers, because sometimes you get scammed. Like the wig people, I think maybe I think some of these people are just very trusting, and they feel like, okay, I see pictures, they have an IG, it looks like they're doing all this work, and then they cash out apping people and then blocking them, and then deleting themselves from the internet and then coming back as somebody else. Which the internet makes that very easy to do, because you're already an anonymous person. Yeah. So I think there is a certain subset of people, especially now that everything is digital, that are very susceptible to these types of scams, because they're just kind of inherently nice. And you have people like that, people that buy things and they'll be like, oh, it was too small, or I don't really like it, but I'm not going to take it back because I don't want to be rude. Or people that go to restaurants and their food is wrong and they keep it because they don't want to make a fuss. There are people like that. And I think what happens is that translates digitally, and you have people that don't ask the proper questions about stuff that they're spending their money on.
See, I'm like that with the food because I seen the movie Waiting, and I'm like, yeah, I ain't trying to go through that. Now, everything else, like, I'm an a-hole. I always say I'm a salesman's worst nightmare, because don't try to upsell me. Unless I told you that's what I want, don't tell me that's what you have. I don't care. This is what I want. Oh, you want the extra? No. But
I want this. I want this. I've done the research, and that's what I'm saying. Consumers are becoming much more savvy. And so they do their research before they go to buy things, so that, salespeople are not upselling them. But I do think there's a certain sect that just assume that people are trustworthy, and because they're doing this digitally and it leaves a trail, they feel like, oh, this should be fine. But that's not necessarily the case. The internet is a place of anonymity. And so just because people are doing business and it looks necessarily legit, if you can't verify it, then that's not somebody you should go through. Okay,
first of all, for the folks at home, you got to tell them what anonymity means.
Sir. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna.
You're gonna have to. I'm not on this.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Our listeners are smart, kind, generous, sexy people.
Well, I guess she was saying the internet exists, so that's her way of saying that.
I'm just saying, if y'all gonna get on Al Bundy's internet, y'all just need to do better. Y'all can't be on Anita Baker's internet acting like y'all don't got no sense. Al Green did not make the internet for y'all to get on the internet and let y'all selves be scammed out of these fucking cheap ass synthetic Kanaka-Laka-Lawn ass wigs. You know better. Do better, because you know better.
Hey, I thought Al Gore invented the internet. Didn't he say that in the 90s?
I mean, whoever. Al Gore, Al Green, Al Bundy, Anita Baker, whoever.
Oh, Anita, hey man, You taking it back
I'm
now.
just saying, don't get on Al Green's internet acting like you ain't got no sense, letting people scam you. Now, on to some other scammers. Now, for those of y'all who know, who listen to the show, I went to Essence Fest. Apparently, some of y'all was getting scammed during Essence Fest. So the police had brought charges against a nice young lady whose name I do not recall, but essentially, she was running a scam where she had a business and she was offering Essence Festival packages, essentially rooms, tickets to shows, concerts, blah blah blah, VIP experiences, the whole shebang bang. She defrauded 2 different groups of women. Well, they said there's more forthcoming, but she basically defrauded these people out of thousands of dollars, like tens of thousands of dollars, for these elaborate packages that she says she was putting together for them. And so they said one of the groups showed up in New Orleans at the hotel, and they were like, "We don't have rooms for you." She had a block, because what she did was she said, "Hey, I have a block of rooms sectioned off." And so when they first got the confirmation and stuff, they thought everything was legit.
Whew.
So then, after they're given money and stuff, when they show up for the Essence Festival, they're told, "Oh, those rooms were canceled."
Wow. All right. So she basically took the money, canceled it, and pocketed funds. That's what I'm looking
Pocketed
at.
tens of thousands of dollars of these people's money.
Yeah, they said, okay, so based on this, they said she a theft of more than $25,000. Her name is, hold on, let me go ahead and try this out. Nakesia Washington.
Girl, when Nakesia was pocketing them folks Washingtons and they Benjamins and they Lincolns.
She was out here hustling strong.
Jacksons. She got all of them. All the tons and sons. She got them.
This kind of messed up, and I know people are going to slur him, but she kind of do look like she was like an extra, and like, she looked like she would have been Queen Latifah's stunt double and set it off.
I thought the same thing when I saw her mugshot.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
they can roast us both, because I saw her mugshot and thought the same thing.
Oh my God. Look, man, it's hard nowadays, because it's like, how do you know who to trust on it? Because like, if you think it's a legitimate business and you look up, I guess you just go based on what Yelp's reviews and stuff like that.
Well, the crazy part is that one of these parties used a travel agent.
Wow.
Like, one of these groups went through a travel agent, and then, because travel agents also do business with the, like if you book a cruise, you aren't booking it through the travel agency. They still have to go to the cruise line and make all the arrangements and stuff.
Yeah.
They just do the work for you. So essentially, these people used a travel agent. The travel agent saw this Nakia. She was running her business MBO or MBL, something like that. So the travel agent used her services to get them all these VIP packages and stuff for Essence Festival. She was fooled. And she's a seasoned travel agent.
It's cold-blooded, man.
So she was saying she had to try to scramble to refund these people's money and try to get them accommodated because she was tricked. And then they said at the time of the woman's arrest, she was still had her website up and stuff, and she still was booking packages. You could go on cruises and trips.
See, that's why I'm like,
y'all some elite level scammers. Y'all some elite level scammers.
That's too much work, man. I mean, I gotta lie to so many people. I gotta actually go do the work and then undo my own work. That's too much.
She told the people that she had a heart attack, and that's why she hadn't paid the rest of the monies and the deposits. And when she got out of the hospital, that she would.
I bet she had full on papers and everything too, huh?
Y'all just bless y'all.
Hey, man,
like, I'm gonna need y'all just
sound like my ex.
Just making up stuff, photoshopping, making printouts. Going to great lengths to preserve their lie. And but if you live by the scam, die by the scam.
Hey, I swear, right hand to the man. I remember one time she made a fake check. But hey, that's a whole nother story for another time. You know, one day we just gonna come over and just have story time about all our exes and stuff that we went through.
We should do that. We'll do that next week. We're gonna have story time with V and Q, and we're gonna tell y'all all the god awful shit that exists in our closets. We're gonna drag the skeletons out and put them on display.
Oh man, that's a lot though, man. Like, that's the only thing I can tell people is, look, make sure do all your research before you push send. I don't cash app anybody who's not a friend or a family.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like PayPal, because that shit can be basically like a bank now. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't use any other service for I guess you could say goods and services. So
No, and I feel like that's sound and sage advice for people, because that's the part that I don't understand. Cash App is relatively new, and there's no way to track or get your money back if somebody defrauds you on Cash App. Like, they just have your money. So unless it's somebody you know, why would you think a reputable business would do money through Cash App when PayPal exists? Because it honestly sends up a red flag for me when people say that they don't do business through PayPal.
yeah, I'll be like, oh, okay, well, we can't do business now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because if you're a business and you don't, now if you told me you were cash only, that means obviously I have to come to you for the goods or services, and I can see whatever it is.
Yeah, which makes sense, because some people, because let's be honest, like, well, PayPal's not that bad, but they don't want, if it's small services or something like that, they do take their percentage off top. So
I do get it if you're a very small business, but I just feel like in the interim, or we're talking about in the grand scheme of things, if you want people to take your business seriously, you can't be doing business through Cash App when nobody has any type of buyer protections. It makes you look shady. And that's not to say everybody that does business through Cash App is shady, but it makes you look shady when you're telling me that I have to send you this money and I have no way to recoup my money if something happens. So y'all just be smart out here, because like he said, 2018 been the year of the scamming, and y'all have been coming up with the most iconic scams my ass has ever heard of, and it's just August. So y'all, I cannot wait to see what y'all got in store for the holiday season, baby, because it's about to be, y'all gonna have fake iPads.
Man, nah, they gonna have somebody
fake iPhones and shit. It's gonna be a pair on the back. Remember on Nickelodeon when they would have products that'd be pair pads and pair phones? This shit gonna be real on y'all asses this holiday season, coming to a scammer near you. Man, pair pad.
Having folks out here selling fake FUBU jerseys and starter jackets. That's how it's gonna get down this winter.
Well, just we warning y'all now. You heard it here first. The scam's about to be iconic and idyllic on y'all, so just keep your head on swivel and pay attention. So I guess for our last little bit of
yes, I got questions today.
Okay, man. What you got for me?
Okay, a couple of them. So I'm not gonna go in full details, but let's say you have a family member, friend, whatever, and they're like, they have plenty of examples around them of what maybe not to do, or examples of how life was if certain choices and things were made, but it's like they still choose to go down a certain path. So for instance, let's say you have a friend who struggles with money, and she always tells you she struggles with money, but then you also see her shopping every day, and then she turn around and say, man, I'm always broke, but you out here not spending right, that's why you broke. Oh, I know, but they keep doing the same thing. So it's like they know what to do, they kind of have an understanding, but it's like sometimes people intentionally choose to go a certain path just to show that they can do it anyway, or I don't know. And I mean, I've done this before too, so I'm still trying to understand it myself. But what are your thoughts on things like basically just going against the grain for the hell of it?
I think that people, when it comes to advice and things in their life, I think that people kind of, like we always say, people kind of have to fall on their face, in order for it to come out. But I think it's also one of those things where when you tell people one thing and they don't feel like it's right, or it seems like you aren't supportive, then they want to do the complete opposite. And I've never quite understood that. So, I mean, I agree with you. Like, I think it's very odd to me that people do that. But I think that in so much that we take advice from people, we only want advice when we ask for it. If that makes sense. Like, nobody wants unsolicited advice. Like, if I'm telling you something, I feel like people tell you because they just want to tell you, or they tell you because they're just sharing the news with you. And so then when you give them advice about their life, it comes across as if you don't approve of their decisions. And even if you aren't necessarily implicitly or explicitly saying that, that's what they project onto you. And then they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear any of your advice.
It's just so funny because I mean, I can say I've been caught up in that situation before. I put it like this. I've always been that person I can prove you better than I can tell you. Now, in some cases, it's, it worked out. Like, for instance, when someone tell you don't go for a certain job field because you're not smart enough to do it. Stuff like that, I understand why you say, I'm going to show you that I am. Unless you know that that's not your thing and you're going to try to do it, then that just may still be a poor choice. But it's one of those things because it's like, I'm one of those people who also feel that if I'm speaking to you or quote unquote giving advice, it's only because I care. Because if I didn't, hey man, do your thing. You want to jump off a building? Hey man, have fun. Let me know how it ends up. But the person you care about, you go like, nah, I don't do that. I remember I had a homie, Mike, he did that same and it didn't go well. That type of stuff because you're trying to keep people from going down certain things because yourself may have been there or someone that's close to you been there and it was a bumpy road.
I don't know. I think people, like I said, I think it's a little bit like I agree. It's one of those things I can show you better than I can tell you, but I think people just get in this mindset where they have to do it for themselves. And it's one of those things like with kids, you tell them the stove is hot, they got to touch it anyway. I think it's in human nature to want to blaze your own path.
Oh man, and you know what? I get that. It's so, especially when you care about somebody, and
it's hard to sit back and watch them fail. It's hard to watch them struggle. It's hard to sit back and just let their decisions play out.
It is, and I think that's the issues I have when it comes to people I care for that do that, because it's one of those, like, I want to help, but then that's also at that point where I'm like, nah, you got to deal with this because this is what you asked for. And it comes off as you kind of come off as an asshole when you say that, though. Because I remember, my mom, and I remember it was one time when she was dating one guy previously, and she was like, oh, well, he, this is how he's acting. I was like, well, you knew that. And it didn't come off, like, it just rolled off, and I thought about it. I was like, damn, that was rude as shit. But it's how I felt.
Very true.
I don't know, man. I mean, that's the stuff that always interests me because I was like, I thought about it. Like I said, I take myself for example. I did that with my oldest's mom, and that's why I tell a lot of people, like, when we were dating, it wasn't really about us being like that. It was just more like, well, everybody says she's like this. Maybe I can change that type of stuff.
Well, we can't change nobody. They got to want to change them for them, and that's the number one rule of life. Just like we're saying with people making decisions. Unfortunately, when you are trying to give people advice about things, you also have to take into account the kind of person they are and how receptive they are to outside advice. Because not everybody is receptive, but also you can't make anybody make life changes that they don't want to make.
Yeah.
And you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink. And you are not ever going to be able to make anybody change unless it is what they are ready and willing to do for themselves.
Oh man. I was like, okay, with that being said, have you also had that same person that when that did happen and they come to you and you're reluctant to kind of do anything, then they say you don't care about them?
You tell them that you do care and you're exercising tough love and it is your choice to do so. Like we had this conversation before we started recording. Listen, if I told you how to fix it, I told you what to do, you didn't take my advice, now your shit all fucked up and now you like, oh, save me, bail me out. Look, bitch, I can throw you a life preserver, but this boat gonna keep paddling. I don't know what to tell you.
and that's me too.
You best kick them legs and make sure if the sharks come, you swim fast enough to get away. Cause it's just, I don't feel like it's anybody's responsibility to try to bail you out of shit when they tried to help you. And it's not about them not caring about you, but how much do you really care about a person if you don't even respect them enough to take what they told you into account?
Yeah.
So you don't give a fuck either. So if you don't give a fuck, then why should I give a fuck? Then now you want to be like, oh, well, I should have listened to you. Yeah, you should have. And now here we are. So what the fuck we gonna do now?
Mm-hmm. Man, that was the hardest conversation I ever had to go to my mom. Because that's one thing I also learned. I don't know if it's, I'm going to say black women because that's the only one I've ever dealt with for the most part. they know. Look, when every time I brought a woman to meet my mom can tell me exactly how that woman was within 30 seconds, like 30 minutes of just meeting her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, that's just crazy. And but the thing is, like, she told me point for point, she was like, that's not the type you want. She's blah 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 blah. And then that's when I went all on defensive, like, oh, mama, you just trippy. You don't even know her. She's like, yeah, I do. I met that type of girl before. And, of course, when everything played out the way she said, and I had to go back, yo, mama, check. So, about that conversation, yeah, you were right on everything. And she was like, oh, really? So.
It's hard to go back and eat crow. And so, I mean, I think there's something to be said for maybe being, kind of being receptive, being like, well, okay, I'm glad that you see that I was right. But I also feel like I think it's one of those things where if somebody comes to you and said, you know what, you were right, and they don't make it a habit, then you're receptive in helping them. But if it's somebody that is a repeat offender and every time they get sound advice, they ignore it, you don't want to help them anymore. You get to a point where you're just like, fuck it, you're on your own.
I've been there. Okay, it's just a question. Does it have... Because I know people throw this word around and sometimes I don't even think they know what it means, but we'll just use it for context. Does it have anything to do with maturity?
I think so. I think the older and more mature we get, the more open we are to other people's experiences, if that makes sense. Because I think when you're very young, you don't want to hear about other people. I'm different. That's not how things are now. That's not how we do whatever. But then I think the older you get, you realize that good advice and sage, sound advice, it's going to be sound advice regardless. It doesn't matter where it's coming from or how old they are or how you feel about them. But I think you are in that space where you are very headstrong and you want to make all the decisions for yourself. And then you realize there's nothing wrong with relying on the experience of other people.
No, I think it used to be a saying. I don't know if it is, but I don't know if I just heard it from somewhere. But the smart person learns from from
experience, from their mistakes, and a wise person learns from the mistakes of others.
Yeah. So it was at that point where, honestly, even now, like, I don't know how many times I can call you or Eric or anyone before I react to something. I always say, "Hey, man, it's a scenario. This is what I was going to do. What are you, because I know."
Because sometimes you just need to step back from it and get a second opinion. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people in our very early years, when we're still maturing, our brains are still growing, we don't think to get a second opinion. We think that we know it all, or we think that we're making sound decisions. And the older you get, you realize the decisions you probably made at 21, 23, 25 weren't always super sound.
Oh, no, I mean, yeah.
But when you're removed from them, you're able to see that.
Hell, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, that's... So I guess that... Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, but it's a rough place to be in, especially if it's somebody close to you that you care about, because when they make poor decisions, it's one thing if it's just kind of a decision that's just kind of but when they're making decisions that are super life-altering or decisions that could really change the course of something, I think that's when you get in that spot where it's very hard to sit by.
Yeah, because I think everybody acts at a young age. It's like you can come up and say, "Hey, yo, dog, don't go down that dark alley, man. Last time Charles went down there, he got knocked over the head. Oh, man, that was last Tuesday, nigga. This is Thursday. We're going to be all right, And then
right.
Shit pop off, Yeah, man. I mean, and honestly, it's one of those situations, and I think this is also maybe me maturing. Somewhat. I'm still immature as hell. But even some conversations, I just kind of just don't even engage anymore. So, like, when situations like that arise, I just say, you know what? I'm going to leave my opinion out of it unless they ask. But other than that, I'm going to keep quiet. Because at this point, I believe that me being honest about how I feel about it is not going to be any benefit.
Yeah, I agree. I think you kind of have to learn to pick your battles with people and realize what's important. And if it's something super serious that you just can't hold, and say something. But other than that, you definitely do have to kind of just pick your battles and hold your peace sometimes.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was my little counseling session. But no, I mean, I really want everybody to know, because I'm sure everybody's been in that situation, or they were the person who did it, or they had the friend or the family or whoever a part of that same thing. So it's like, how do you, this whole thing was like, how do you engage that? Do you kind of just hold their hand through the chaos if there is any? Or do you just kind of stay, take a step back and just view it from a distance, and, when they come around, pick up the pieces or whatever, or just leave it all together. So,
well, let us know in the comments. And if not in the comments, please hit us up on Twitter. I'll send out a tweet about it. We want to know what you think. How do you deal with giving advice to family members or friends if they don't seem receptive to learning anything from anyone else? How do you deal with that? Do you step back? Do you just kind of wait for it to all fall apart? Or do you just like, no, fuck it, you gonna take my advice today? I think everybody's a little bit different, so we want to hear about it.
Yeah, I think I'm the type, you know what, in most cases, I'm going to say my piece, and if you like it, okay. If not, I'm sorry. And I just leave it at that, because I feel like if I at least say it, and if things go that way, then I can't say, I didn't try. So.
And I feel like, you know what, I think that's probably the best that you can do. I think you can say what you're going to say, and that way you can't be like, I wouldn't feel, if it's somebody you're close to, you wouldn't feel right not telling them, hey, that sounds like a terrible idea. And if they take it, the advice, great. If they don't, but you don't feel like you owe them anything, as if you just let them sit by and make a horrible decision.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well. But, yeah, I will say this. I'm probably not going to have as much action on, social media these next couple months, because brother going back to school officially. So,
yay!
I'm going to have to, all my extra tweet now is I'm going to have to go ahead and actually read shit. So, for some reason, they want you to actually do work. So,
they do. But we are super happy for you. So congrats on that. And hopefully I will be following behind you shortly.
Hey, man. Appreciate it. So, yeah, man. Other than that, social media's V. Go ahead. Shout out your stuff.
Yeah, you can find me on the social medias on Al Green, Al Bundy, Al Gore, Anita Baker's internet. On Twitter, it is at VJ_Burton, and it is the same on IG. On Facebook, you can find me. It is Vermeek Burton. On Snapchat is Meek B. Hopefully very, very soon. I will try to get that up and running by the end of the month, so that Chopping Up with Q podcast will have an IG page and maybe a Facebook fan page. I'm not so keen on the Facebook, so don't hold your breath on that one, because Facebook is a lot. So I don't know.
That's when you start finding out, people messing with they stepdaughters and all kind of other stuff.
They niece trying to have a sugar baby relationship with their nieces. So
man, look,
listen. So that was some wild stuff going on there. So I don't want no parts of that. So maybe we'll just get an IG page.
Yeah, I gotta talk about that next time, because look, dude. I don't know what to say about some of you dudes out here, man. No wonder some ladies just not dating at all, because some of y'all niggas is weird. Like, beyond weird. And I'm talking about that in the worst way possible. But
super max weird, like high level weird. But Quentin, where can the people find you?
Well, I do have Facebook. I rarely get on because it's Facebook shenanigans, but it is Quentin Simpson. And of course, I do have IG as well as Twitter, which is _Q_the_great. Damn, I almost forgot it. And I guess when she gets her black ass around this part, we can also start adding pictures of us on IG and all that. Maybe record and face to face from time to time. But it's all good. I always pick
I'm
about
trying.
that.
I'm looking for a job, guy. I'm trying.
So you don't have crying Martha over at the job. You ain't gotta harass her no more.
Watermelon Wilma.
Oh man, but yeah. Other than that, man, we appreciate everybody who does rock with us.
Wait.
No,
sorry. Before I forget. So yes, you can find the show at the show's Twitter The show's Twitter is at choppingitup_pod.
You're right.
When
Oh,
you
damn, how forget that?
when you're listening to the show and you want to tweet along with us or tell us things, just use the hashtag #ChopItUpPod. We will get it. We will talk back to you. We like talking back to you because we're Twitter trolls, and so we enjoy the interaction. Feed us. We love it. And if you'd like to email the show and ask us for our, sometimes sage, sometimes sound, never 100% foolproof advice because technically we ain't shit, you can do that by emailing us at choppingitup.wq.podcast@gmail.com. Or you can just tell us that you really like the show, and you can also rate, leave reviews, and subscribe. We are found wherever you find dope podcasts, so definitely do that for us as well.
Yes. And I'm waiting for the Spotify link to go live, so y'all stay tuned for that as well. Yeah, man, other than that, appreciate everybody who interacts with us, everybody who listens, everybody who shares, all that good stuff. And
We
y'all
love
already
you.
know we're going to be coming through more guests, more laughs, all that good stuff. So y'all stay tuned. Other than that, we about.
Later.